Let's go courtside to the third member of our broadcast team, Stormy Buonantony. Stormy?
Thanks, Pete. These Wofford Terriers have had what head coach Mike Young calls a magic carpet ride of a season, and a lot of their success stems from their experience losing on this floor in the semifinals last year. You have focused so much on teaching with this team. When you saw Nick Richards put up 25 points and 15 rebounds, how impressed were you with his ability to get it done?
Well, I didn't know that until you just said it.
The defense is really what kept Carolina in this game today. So the first play we're going to look at is that Wildcat direct snap to Sanu. You told me that it would be really important in this game to run the ball efficiently and effectively. What's been the challenge there in the first half?
Yeah, we let some linebackers run through.
Do you have a rally banana?
Well, my son's got the banana.
Does it taste like victory?
Absolutely, 100%.
I feel a little bit like we're on MTV Cribs here, but this is the lay of the land, and this is where the Panthers will be seeing 60 different prospects over the course of this week for 15 minutes apiece. And think speed dating, okay?
Bracket buster in last year's NCAA tournament, when exactly 1 year ago from today's date, they became the first ever 16 seed to upset the one when they defeated top overall seed Virginia by a whopping 20 points in Charlotte. Before that, 16 seeds were 0-135 in those games. You mentioned just how big of a fan Dave Clawson was of Tony Dorsett. He shared with us a moment when he was coaching at Bowling Green in 2009, and one of their receivers, Freddie Barnes, was up for the Bolitnikoff Award, so he was down in Orlando for the ESPN College Football Award show. He was on the elliptical, and Tony Dorsett was on the treadmill next to him. Clawson said that there were very few times in his life where he was starstruck, but that was one of them.
Understandable.
The Dolphins and Panthers have met in the regular season 6 times, with the Dolphins leading that series 4-2 all time. It was the Panthers, however, that got the win this last season in 2017 on Monday night with that 45-21 win. Led by as many as 22 in that half, but VMI certainly started to close the gap. What was the difference there in the last few minutes?
I mean, they're playing good basketball, Stormy. Big shot at the end of half, get in here up a level. We're in good shape. You know, we'll look forward to the next 20.
Speaking to that shot, Fletcher McGee was 0 for 5 before draining that one. What kind of confidence will that give him to find his stroke a little bit more in the second half?
He's never had a problem with his confidence.
You got to remember that 6 of those 7 losses this season were just one-score games. So they're hungry, they're getting after it, and there is still a chance. But another reason for optimism is the youth on this football team, and a certain rookie tight end who's been trying to fill the impossible shoes of a 12-year veteran, 3-time Pro Bowler Greg Olsen has been getting after it the past couple weeks. Russell Brown telling us Ian Thomas has emerged for the Carolina Panthers.
Going back to the way that you were brought up, though, in a very, very small town playing 8-man football, you go on and walk on at Boise State as a defensive tackle, I believe.
Yep.
Did you ever imagine that this would be the career that you had when you were 16 playing 8-man football?
No, absolutely not.
Can we get you to do the Gator Chomp? Be a Florida Gator.
You had my arm a second ago, you know that?
I'm sorry. But you guys held this Troy team to one.
Why did you do that?
Was it too hard? No, 1 of 14. 1 of 14 from 3. You held these Trojans to. How impressed were you with your perimeter defense? You stressed that a lot of practice.
We're getting better.
You'll have time to actually get out there with some of the receivers today. What's the most important thing that you're hoping to share with them during that session later?
Yeah, I just think, just share my love of the game.
Should be an exciting matchup with Houston. Houston, a team that has a pair of wins over top 5 opponents when they played them in Oklahoma and Louisville. What's the biggest key for an Aztec win in Las Vegas against Houston?
Well, I think it's going to be something very similar to what they've been after most of the season.
You're exactly right. And at 1-6 coming into today's game, North Carolina head coach Larry Fedora said that his team might not on the surface have a whole lot to look forward to and to play for, but he told me his team is still fighting. They're giving it everything they've got. He said it's not a morale issue because when they step onto the field, they're playing for pride, and they know just how close they have been. The frustrations have come from self-inflicted wounds. Similarly, Georgia Tech head coach Paul Johnson says there's been good Georgia Tech and bad Georgia Tech this year. Bad Georgia Tech beats themselves, so the goal today for them is no turnovers, no penalties, because when they do that, guys, they're pretty hard to beat. This week, Bob Hoffman went out and bought a Monopoly set for his team. He didn't want to play with him, but he took the play money and put it in the team room at the hotel. It's here in the locker room now, and told his players, if you guys are willing to buy in and are ready to go, then I want you to take this Monopoly money, sign your name to it, and stick it on this board where it says "We bought in." They have lost 8 games this season by 4 points or less, said they've been right there. So he's just trying something to capture their attention and get them over the hump. And he has at least 4 times done one of these like almost sit down on the bench. He doesn't fully sit down, but an almost sit. And he told us earlier today that with this group, he stands more than he ever has, almost the whole game, just so they know he's with them. He even joked and said, I'm old, I don't want to stand, but that's what this team needs me to do, and he's been doing it all game.